Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, and a beautiful morning out there. The birds are singing and the sun is shining. No new cases of COVID-19 in the province yesterday, which is 3 days in a row. I have a friend who was tested yesterday, and the wait is quite nerve-wracking. Hopefully, she'll test negative as well. Fingers crossed. Yesterday, I trained in a video conference solution called Blue Jeans that we're now using for thesis defenses. The first thing we tried, the online rooms, is better in some senses because we don't need a license and there are unlimited numbers of people who can use it at the same time. However, we found there were too many technical problems, most having to do with sound quality, which is really important for a thesis defense. You have to be able to hear without straining. So we changed to something different. This is important when you're thinking about problem solving. Sometimes the first solution you try doesn't work as well as you want it to. Your choices are to keep trying with that solution because you don't want to admit that you made a mistake, or to switch to something else. The online defense is a bit of a trivial example, but we did get some criticism for not making up our minds and initially choosing something that wasn't perfect. I think fear of criticism or failure holds us back in trying new things, and sometimes it keeps us mired in old ways of doing things. I found an article on empowerment during the pandemic that I found to be very useful, and I'll put the link in the comments. It asks the question, who do you want to be during the COVID-19? And then identified a few zones or a few places where you can be. And the first one is the fear zone. And in the fear zone, you grab food, toilet paper, medications you don't need, you spread emotions related to fear and anger, you complain, you get mad easily. In the learning zone, you start to give up what you can't control, stop consuming what hurts me, identify my emotions. I become aware of the situation and think before I act, and evaluate information before spreading something false. In the growth zone, you think of others and see how to help them, make your talents available to those who need them, and live in the present and focus on the future. And you're empathetic with yourself and others. That's really important. And look for a way to adapt to new changes. Now, while the goal may be to get into the growth zone, what's important to note is that these zones aren't static, that people move between zones and can even exist in different zones at the same time. Something that's also important to remember is it's not necessarily a bad thing to be in the fear zone, because what's important is actually realizing you're in the fear zone and finding ways to empower yourself to move out of that zone. I got a response to this post from a student that I thought was pretty helpful. She makes a judgment when she wakes up in the morning about how she's feeling. Did she sleep poorly? Is she feeling pessimistic? And if she's in a bad place that day, she doesn't expect much from herself and sets her goals accordingly. But if she wakes up feeling optimistic, well-rested, etc., she adjusts accordingly. The idea is that it's really normal for us to have ups and downs, and it's good to be consciously aware of which zone you're in that day and to adjust to that. If I'm in a fear zone, I try to be particularly aware of it and try not to be bad-tempered with others because it's not their fault that I'm actually in a fearful state. Take that advice for what it's worth. That's all for me for now. Take care, stay safe, and stay at home as much as possible. Thank you.